they'd start their calling around midnight. Cloudless, cold, starlit nights were the best. The keen air carried their voices with greater clarity. The first hoot, then two, half notes like the gasps of someone getting into a hot bath or under a cold shower, followed by a second, a longer cry. A cry of what? Triumph, pride, warning, negotiation. Books from the library said that the calls, which sounded faded as made by one voice. There, in fact, were two birds, male and female, signaling to one another. Was that right? So much about owls seemed to be little more than speculation, informed guesswork. When the 2 or 3 owls hooted over to one another from different locations, it sounded to him like a terrible ritual. They lay in bed, and their weird incantations flowed in at the open window and invited him out into the night. Intrigued and curious teenager that he was, out he went. The woods were more alive, it seemed, with unseen life than they ever were in the daylight. He moved statelily, stopped, shivered at the cold stiffness. When he stood, he heard creeping, rustling, cracking sounds. He thought of the pellets he found in the day, the tight packages of bone, fur, and excrement like that, crushed into auto carcasses in a wrecker's yard, were all that remained of the voles or the mice swallowed whole by their strange predators. Did those small creatures scuffer over the leaves and roots to hear the owls calling and tremble in fear, or were they obvious to danger until it was too late? He cupped his hands and called skywards, hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, and sometimes out of the dark their great feathered presence came down, and he felt rather than seeing them and assessed and dismaying him. He was, to them, both greater and far less than a mouse. And suddenly he saw himself alongside, but as separate from the mice, the owls, the trees, and the stars. Even a mouse had a sure place to chain, and fabrication of cause and effect. But what was his place? He stared into the sky, and nothing was staring back. No wonder people invented gods. How else could you explain your presence other than by speculation informed by guesswork?